Hi, it's Eva Cartman, and you are listening to the Dream Big podcast show, the place to go to learn, laugh, and grow. Today we welcome former NFL player David Vobora, who has found new purpose in his life after a career-ending injury and is helping our wounded warriors find purpose in their life with his Adaptive Training Foundation. This is episode 54, Big Dreamers. You ready? It's time to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. I am your host, Eva Cartman. And today, I'd like to start with a special thank you to the newest members of the Dream Big Squad, Scott Sternberg and Sophie Rance, and all their families. Thank you for supporting the Dream Big podcast. If you would like to become a member of the squad and get a special shout out from me on the show, then please head to dreambigsquad.com. Squad members also get access to a special commercial-free feed of the Dream Big podcast with all our past episodes and lots of other cool squad-only perks as well. I want to give a quick shout-out to the review of the week. This is from La Roya and reads, "Such sweet and brilliant ladies. What I love about this is Olga and Eva's ability to inspire me to do the thing I love the most, and that it's never too early or late to dream big. This is just the best podcast I've ever heard." Thank you, La Roya, for your kind words. Big dreamers, please leave a review on iTunes for a chance to have me read it during the review of the week. We love hearing how the podcast is benefiting you, and your reviews help us stay high in the charts so we can attract amazing guests like David Vobora. Today's guest. For a limited time, we are actually sending out free personalized stickers to the big dreamers who take the time to leave an honest review. Parents, you can go to dreambigpodcast.com/bonus with their kids for the details on how to claim the free stickers. And I'm going to turn it over to my mom for a quick word from the sponsor.
The sponsor of today's episode is datevitation.com, where you can create custom love coupon book full of fun activities to do with the ones you love. You probably made these love coupons before by hand for your spouse or mom or kids, but now Datevitation makes it super easy. You can make a book right now online, and it will be shipped to you shortly. And the illustrations are adorable. We love the selection of over 500 plus activity ideas. And Datevitation has great options for books for kids to give to their parents, for parents to their kids, and of course, those romantic ones for grown-ups to each other. They even have an option to upload your photos, and you can add your face to their fun stick figure characters. It's so much fun. Eva and I love Datevitation, and she even made me a Datevitation book for my birthday last year, and was my favorite gift by far. We had such a blast doing the activities in the book together and creating lifelong memories. She's so funny. She actually said, "Mom, now we have these dates. Let's put them on the calendar and let's do them." She's a doer, as you know, right? So for our Dream Big community, Datevitation is offering custom Datevitation books starting at just $15, including free shipping. Yep, free shipping, guys. That's $15 for completely custom gift, including shipping. You get to pick the cover of your choice, 5 date activities, and you can even add your photos to the illustrations. If you would like to add more than 5 pages, you can do that for just $1 each. Just use the code DREAMBIG at checkout to take advantage of this amazing deal for limited time only. If you forget any of this, just go to dreambigpodcast.com/54 and we'll have links to the invitation site and the promo code. Thank you, Datevitation, for supporting the Dream Big podcast and providing so much value to our community.
Thanks, Mom. It's time for you all to enjoy our interview with David Vobora. David is a retired NFL football player, but the focus of this interview will be the amazing work his nonprofit Adaptive Training Foundation is doing to restore hope through movement to those with physical impairment, including many of our wounded warriors who have come home with injuries that make it difficult to work out at a normal gym. Don't forget, as always, we'll have show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/54. We will include links to David's website and everything we discuss in the interview. Without further ado, here's our interview with David. Let's roll the tape. Hi, David.
Eva, how are you?
Great. Welcome to the Dream Big Podcast show.
You know what? I may be more nervous for this than the Ellen show.
For good reason, David. For good reason. We welcome you and we can't wait to find out more about what you do, about your passion, and share it with our big dreamers. So thank you for coming.
And we have loads of stuff to talk about in this episode.
I can't wait to unpack it with you.
But we'll mostly be talking about the Adaptive Training Foundation and the incredible work your nonprofit is doing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're really excited. Believe me, when people ask me about what we do at the gym, it's hard to put into words, but I know you've seen some of our videos and you know the transformational work that we're doing with people with physical disabilities.
Yeah. But the first question will be, can you start by sharing where you grew up and your first career as a professional football player?
Yeah, I grew up in Eugene, Oregon, the birthplace of a little tiny company that you might have heard of. It's called Nike.
Yep.
Yeah, so I grew up in Tracktown, USA. My dad was an Oregon Duck, a football player for the Ducks, and I grew up inside of the stadium there. That I just loved football, and I always knew that I wanted to be an NFL football player, but it was taking one step, one day at a time, and very much dreaming big and realizing that hard work was how I was going to get there.
Well, you definitely had dedication and you achieved your goal and your big dream as a football player. Mm-hmm. And David, at that point, how did you find that your purpose in life? And I know that your purpose changed since you got your injury.
Yeah, I was a young football player that sort of people said was good, but not sure if they could play at the next level. And that sort of label followed me from high school into college into pro football. And I was the last pick in the 2008 NFL draft. And that player is titled Mr. Irrelevant because oftentimes that player never makes a team, right? The statistics aren't very good to actually last and make the roster. But I did, and I became a starter my rookie year and began to have success. And by the fourth year in the league, I suffered a traumatic shoulder injury, catastrophic shoulder injury, really, that ended up being my last play in the NFL. And really finding my calling or my why or my greatest purpose outside of football really came through a lot of pain. I had trained my whole life. I had my whole identity wrapped up in playing football. And so when I got injured, it didn't make sense. I didn't know who was staring back at me in the mirror. And I frankly, because of fear, I decided not to answer that question. And I coped through using pain medication. And what initially started with prescriptions led me to a substance abuse problem and a drug addiction that ultimately led me face down on the floor inside of a hospital during a drug detox unit. And it was very much rock bottom for me. But over about a year or so of getting out, getting help, going through rehab, recognizing that the skills that made me great at football could be repurposed for other areas of my life. And in fact, repurposed to help serve other people. So when I got out of the NFL, I decided to start a gym. The gym has always been my sanctuary and a place that I was able to use hard work to achieve. And I decided to start there in the gym yet again, even though it wasn't training myself, it was training other people and encouraging them and inspiring them and offering them the tools to really transform their lives. So it was how I eventually met Staff Sergeant Travis Mills. He's a quadruple amputee. He was blown up serving our country in Afghanistan. And that improvised explosive device caused him to lose all 4 limbs. And when I met Travis, I walked right up to him with bold curiosity, and I just asked him, man, if I could work out with him, if I could train him. And, again, he was very apprehensive, knowing that he had no arms and legs and knowing that I had no experience, but he decided to take a chance. And boldly, we started training together, and I watched Travis desensitize his fear of falling, and he became empowered physically. He began to offer a whole new confidence and a new perspective for all of our NFL players training in the gym at the same time, right? All of a sudden, they couldn't complain about their pinky toe hurting anymore. And that's when I recognized, holy crap, there is a huge void for people with physical disabilities after rehabilitation ceases. Like, where do they go when cash runs out, when insurance runs out? What is it for them not to just have a short walk to the couch or have recreational based nonprofit opportunities, but where is it a place for them to go and redefine their lives? And that was it. That was where the Adaptive Training Foundation was birthed. And now fast forward 3 years, we've done over 100 athletes through our 9-week program. And we're rocking and rolling, meeting with presidents and going on Ellen and just calling all people into this story, which is one of overcoming and not letting the word can't ever come up in your day to day.
Big dreamers, this is a really important lesson. Sometimes in life, something will happen that is just out of your control, but you have to let things go with the flow, and you just have to feel
like a new beginning,
like a new beginning, because things will always come up how they're supposed to be in life.
You would probably
maybe finish your career, yeah.
And this way, you found new purpose. But you covered so much of such important, so many important topics, and I want to emphasize as well. You mentioned when you were at your bottom, and where you felt like there is no way out of it, you asked for help. And I want to emphasize for our big dreamers that if you ever feel down or something doesn't go according to plan, number one, go with the flow and always remember there is a way out. Ask for help and be curious. David mentioned about curiosity when he started asking questions, when he said that he didn't know how to do it, but he said, we'll do our best, right? And he just went with the flow. And look at him now. He created something that's greater than just playing NFL, right? As a football player, you're changing people's lives, David. You're expanding on your vision, and you're inviting other people to come on board and help with hopefully going to be millions and millions of people.
Yeah, I think the goal is to find the gift. And I don't always mean the gift that you wanted. Life and circumstances, people, places, things, life happens, and you can't look at life as a victim, right? If you are stuck in your story and think life is happening to you and not for you, then there's no way to repurpose some of that pain. And for me, I identified what I was excited about, right? And I decided to use that, my gifts and what excited me to help give other people an opportunity to change their lives. And so mine was the gym. Someone else's maybe basketball or mathematics or, doing something charitable for people or animals. And to me, that's what it's all about, is looking at the things that may have happened to you that you aren't proud of, or that, seemingly define your life, and using those exact things, the thing that you might want to hide, or the thing that you may not want to be proud and stand up and say, yes, this is me, but use that exact thing as a platform. That's the greatest gift, is something that you had to endure that you can hopefully repurpose so that somebody else who's maybe suffering from a similar fate, that you can help pull them out of that helpless and hopeless spot.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. And our next question will be, what has been the most rewarding aspect of starting the program?
And now working with those veterans.
Yeah. The most rewarding part is watching one of these adaptive athletes, veteran or civilian, come in and feel like they'll never improve. They said goodbye to snowboarding or surfing or climbing a mountain or competing in sport. And then we take their their words, at times very beaten down and very broken. And then in 9 weeks of training, empowering them in the gym, we pave a way for them to achieve those goals. We took 22 veterans after 9 weeks of training. We took them to Tahoe, to Squaw Valley Resort, and we took them adaptive skiing for 5 days. And instead of that just being a time for them to experience it, we trained them so that they could squeeze as much as they possibly could out of that experience. And I think that's the most rewarding part. Greater than anything I ever achieved on the football field, these goals are about the tribe. It's about the goal for the whole community to inspire and aspire to be greater than what they were when they walked in the day before, or rolled in, or crutched in, or crawled in, however they came in our doors. And I think that's the part that I'd like any big dreamer to listen and really heed these words, really grab these words, because to me, it's about the scar that you endured, and not letting it be a part that defines you, because impossible is only an opinion. And when you dream big and you work hard, I promise you can achieve anything. In fact, you can achieve even greater things than your biggest heroes. So when I see these veterans who have come back from serving our country and protecting our freedoms, and we give them an opportunity to optimize their life, and to then be able to turn around and pay it forward by training others like them in the gym, that's the most rewarding part for me, is to see a community come together and not talk about what we seemingly can't do, but to focus on what we stand for and what we can do.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
It's one of our basic actually human needs, to contribute back to the world. Once we find our passion, once we find what we love doing, it's very rewarding to see how other people grow and how we come together as a community. So, David, speaking of the community, I know that your adaptive training is a nonprofit organization. How can we help? How can our community help you and veterans and what you do in this world?
The first thing I always encourage people with social media is to invite them into the story. I'd say step into the Adaptive Training Foundation story. Go on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snap, on all of the social media channels, and add adaptive training, add David Vobora, and just step into this story and see these videos and the pictures and some of the things that we're doing. And again, you could go on our website, teamatf.org, and you can purchase a t-shirt. There's one specifically that says, "Pressure is a privilege." And what I always talk to our athletes about is, look, people are going to stare. And it's not necessarily their fault. The body seeks symmetry, the brain seeks symmetry, so our eyes at times gravitate towards somebody that's different. But that's an opportunity and a platform, and you can see that pressure, so to speak, as an opportunity to open a conversation about human beings. Because what I love about the gym is our organization, it helps people that are Black, people that are white, people that are gay, people that are straight, veterans, civilians, people that are young, people that are old, male and female. I mean, to me, it's completely agnostic and indifferent to differences. What we look for is people that are coming to work to become a better version of themselves. And that's how I invite people into the story. Yes, of course, we are a 501c3 tax-deductible nonprofit. So financial gifts will be stewarded to make sure that we keep all of the training for anyone with a physical disability 100% cost-free. And that's something that we are committed to, always have been, and always will be. And that's what I think is beautiful about our organization is it's not necessarily a handout, but it's a hand up. And that is a very distinct way to offer them the tools to go out and actually be able to pass this and pay this on to other people.
That's great. And we will include all the links in our show notes, Big Dreamers, so you always know where to find it.
Yep.
And we love exercising as well. And I know our Big Dreamers love exercising.
Yeah. So, David, what is one of your most favorite exercises?
Ooh, great question. Well, I'd say this, big dreamers, go out and play. Like lots of kids like me when I was a kid, I played every sport I could possibly. I knew football was my favorite, but my dad had me play basketball, so my footwork improved. He made me play baseball, so my hand-eye coordination improved. And I think that too often we get so focused on the one sport that we like the most that we let all the other ones go. And so the way that they can help to develop the other movements and the other strengths in other sport can also make you better at your favorite sport. But the one exercise that I would tell you is just a good old-fashioned push-up. You know, at our organization, we have a nonprofit partner called 22 Kill, and that is an organization that helps fight really a battle with veteran suicide. And so we do 22 push-ups to earn a ring that we wear on our pointer finger, and that's to really point to those who have served and those who are currently serving, saying we support you and a lot of the other factors that go into post-traumatic stress. So that organization raises money, and we are able to use that money to train veterans in our program. So good old-fashioned push-ups are all about keeping a strong core and a flat back as you work to push yourself. And what I love about push-ups is don't get discouraged if you can't do one today. Try it on your knees. And then slowly, once you can do more than 10 or 20 on your knees, then go locking your knees out, where you're going to do a full push-up. And then slowly you'll go from 1 to 2. And over just a few weeks or even a month or two, you're going to see yourself progress immediately with this exercise. That's really exciting. And it's one that I love when young girls especially can crank out 20 or 30 push-ups and they look at the little boys like, hey, now it's your chance.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we actually had Joe DeSena from Spartan Race on the podcast. I don't know if you know who
Joe's awesome.
And he loves doing burpees. Do you know what burpees are?
Burpees are so hard. That's such a good one. Those are so hard.
Yeah, he didn't make it easy or not.
Yeah, and also my gymnastic teacher did not make it easy either. We had to do burpees, and if we did one wrong or if we ever said can't, then we had to do 20 push-ups.
Yep.
I love your teacher. I love your coach. That's awesome. So, Eva, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite thing to do in gymnastics?
Well, my favorite thing was really one time we were doing this pyramid, and I was on top, and we did this whole dance routine, and well, that was pretty fun, but I actually think my favorite is actually burpees.
Burpees! Well, you're a stud.
Well, I would love to encourage our big dreamers to do any sort of exercise. Get outside, play, stop sitting on your
on your iPad or phone.
Listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
But you can do push-ups while listening to our interviews. We will encourage you.
Yeah.
Listen to David, connect with David. Look how amazing and how inspiring he is. Just listening to his voice already, I want to just get up and do my push-ups right now. So that's what the good trainer is all about. And thank you, David, so much for giving us this motivation. We have middle rapid fire questions that Eva loves asking. It means we're going to ask you a question and you answer it as fast as you can, short, and we're going to move on. So we have few of those. Ready, Eva?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the first one. Do you have any daily routines? And could you maybe give us an idea of a day in your life?
Yes, every morning I get up at 4 a.m. I get up super early, and before I eat breakfast, I take my dog. I have a huge 130-pound dog, and I take him on a big longboard around the neighborhood here in Texas. I miss surfing in California, but since I'm landlocked in Dallas, Texas, I have Jeffrey, my bloodhound, pull me on the skateboard. So we cruise for a couple of miles in the morning, and it helps me get my mind right before my little girls get up and I get home and I get to cook them breakfast after a ride with Jeffrey.
How old are they?
My girls are 4 and 2. So right now it's a big Moana and Frozen party every night at my house. And I'm not going to break into any Moana songs right now, but look, my daily life is the morning is my most precious time so that I can get home at night and spend some great time with my girls. But every morning I try to find something that I can challenge my mind and be curious to grow to something. Sometimes it's acting classes. Sometimes it's going to a meeting that I wouldn't normally go to and trying to learn. I could go and focus things with my body and physically working out and pushing myself. And then also offering time to breathe and to focus on things like yoga and mindfulness, and how do I offer myself time and space to meditate so that I'm at my optimal form for the next day.
That's awesome.
And I actually have a 2-year-old sister, and she loves watching Moana too. So do I. But my dad has like these songs stuck in his head, and his favorite song he puts on all the time is a song where the Maui sings "You're welcome, you're welcome."
I wonder why he sings that.
And now it's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we have a next question, and it is,
what do you consider the greatest achievement of your life this far?
Ooh, good question. It's got to be those 2 little girls. I mean, being daddy is the coolest title. You know, if someone meets me, I very rarely introduce myself as a former football player. That's maybe number 4 or 5 down the list. But I would say actual achievement as far as, creating in my life, it would be the work of this nonprofit, the Adaptive Training Foundation. But family-wise, it's got to be those 2 little girls.
cool.
If you go back in time and talk to your 10-year-old self, what would be the best advice?
Oh, wow. I would say, that you are enough. I'd tell my 10-year-old self to be strong, to be courageous. You know, one thing that my little girls, we pray every night before we go to bed. It's our Vobora family mantra, if you will. And we say the same thing. We say, may we always defend the weak, always do what's right, learn from our mistakes, and never quit. That is our family mantra, and it's one that I believe if my girls can harness that and the power of doing what's right, helping those in need, learning from your mistakes, and never quitting, that's a perfect recipe to be able to do anything, and the right type of, wisdom at a young age to go out and be a contributor and make an impact on this world.
Wow, thank you for sharing.
Wow.
I think a lot of big dreamers going to write it down and can implement it in their own lives. Thank you.
And
Yeah,
the next
absolutely.
question is, which is one of our last questions, is you have already made many of your dreams a reality, but if you look at yourself today, what is your big dream for the future?
Yeah, my big dreams. I have a book that'll be coming out next year, and that'll be pretty exciting. The title of that book is a working title, but it's The Hope Dealer. And The Hope Dealer is really a format for people to follow my story and the stories of the people that I work with, and really read that and find motivation and aspiration and find themselves in the story. It may be a different circumstance, but yet a familiar hand that was dealt to have to overcome adversity. So a book coming out, and then I'm assuming a podcast will be in tandem with that. And then I've got some other cool opportunities around TV and perhaps in politics. So for me, it's not so much where or how I'm going to get there, but it's essentially how can I be of the most value to those around me, and in a way that creates a ripple effect that doesn't just have people follow, but I empower people to become their own leader and to become their own hope dealer, because hope dealing is just recognizing that your gifts match somebody's needs and you can deal hope to them. And maybe that's just looking a homeless person in their eyes on the street and talking to them as a whole person. You know, my little girls, they don't see these athletes at the Adaptive Training Foundation as broken. You know, they see them as whole people. And that's, I think, a lesson for all big dreamers is to not be so concerned with how you achieve to create success, but how do you look and offer hope to other people? And that is a measure not of money, that is a measure not of fame, but of one that is genuine and authentic, because that smile that you give somebody that's hurting, that may make the difference in that day. And you'll never know who you're helping, but that's not what it's about. It's always about doing it because you can. Because if it's not you, then you're passing it on to somebody else. And what if they don't do it, right? So it's not okay for me in the future to look for success just on the world's spectrum or just on the world's measure. I want to look for a deep success that when I go to bed at night, I know I'm using the skills that I was gifted to match somebody's needs.
Wow, David,
Wow.
thank you so much for your
Thank you.
inspiration, for everything you do for us in this world, for those veterans, for everyone who ever come across your way, and you definitely give as much as you can at that moment, and we appreciate it, we feel it, and we encourage our big dreamers and little dreamers to go follow you on social media. Once again, what is that website there where they can go and find you in everything you do?
Yeah, teamatf.org, teamatf.org. And I gotta tell you this. I genuinely, sincerely mean it when I say congratulations on what you're doing at such a young age, and being a voice and offering a platform for people, and young people especially, to see what it is to be successful, and not just with money in their pocket, and not just to go and create something that changes the world, but to take this opportunity for you to go and tell a story that is so unique in such a young age. So I really commend you for that and congratulate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you. Big dreamers, remember, keep dreaming big, take action, and always remember, do your best.
And don't say can't.
Don't say I can't. And do 20 push-ups.
Or burpees.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. You're awesome.
Bye.
Bye. Big dreamers, I hope you could feel the same energy and optimism that my mom and I felt while we were talking to David. His foundation is doing such important work, and we are thrilled to be able to introduce David to our big dreamers. Of course, I will include everything we discuss in our show notes, as well as links to David's website and social media at dreambigpodcast.com/54. When you go to the show notes, you will see a place to sign up for our insider newsletter, where we will send exclusive content, including a free audio that I made on my top 10 tips for making and keeping great friends. This audio is only available for those who subscribe, and I know this will really help you, so please be sure to have your parents join the newsletter to get it. And again, please consider leaving a review for the show if you're getting value from it. It really helps get exposure for the show, and we love hearing from our fans. Plus, if you go to dreambigpodcast.com/bonus, you can claim your free personalized stickers for taking the time to leave an honest review. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional. You need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion, the way life is meant to be. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!